Panting, I rested my head on my paws. The Napa sun beat down on my fur. It felt hotter than usual. My tail thumped nervously against the wooden floor of the porch. Hallie was back from camp. She had just arrived, but something felt different. Off. The scent of pine needles and campfires clung to her, but beneath it, there was something else. A strange, unfamiliar smell. Something wasn't right. Hallie, my Hallie, always smelled like sunshine and laughter, like the peanut butter treats she sneaked me. This new smell was sharp and cold, like a winter wind. My ears perked up. Hallie never acted this way before. She was too quiet, too still. Her eyes were different too. They lacked their usual sparkle. Her gaze darted around, never settling. It was like she was seeing the house for the first time. I whined, trying to catch her eye, trying to tell her that I knew something was wrong, but she just patted my head absently. A shiver ran down my spine. This wasn't my Hallie. This was something else, something that wore her skin like a disguise.
The days that followed were filled with a growing unease. The new Hallie, the imposter, moved through the house like a ghost. Her touch sent chills down my spine. Gone were the playful pats, replaced by a cold, lingering touch. It was like she was studying me, trying to figure me out, like she knew I suspected her. She would spend hours staring at Nick. Her eyes were filled with a strange, hungry look. I didn't like it one bit. Nick, oblivious to the danger, just beamed back at his daughter. He was so happy to have her home, unaware of the imposter in our midst.
What's the matter, Sammy? Don't you recognize your best friend?
Sleep offered no escape from the nightmare unfolding in our home. Every night I would wake to the sound of whispers. They seemed to slither from beneath Hallie's door. I would creep closer, pressing my ear against the cold wood. The whispers were low, guttural, in a language I couldn't understand, but my instincts told me they were laced with evil. One night I couldn't take it anymore. I scratched at Hallie's door, whimpering. The whispers abruptly stopped. The hairs on my back stood on end. The door creaked open. The imposter stood there. Her eyes glowed with an eerie light. In her hand she held a small leather-bound book. It pulsed with a dark energy.
Curious, Sammy? You shouldn't pry into things that don't concern you.
My attempts to warn Nick were met with confused pats and reassurances. I tried everything. I barked, I whined, I even resorted to nudging him towards Hallie's room, hoping he would see what I saw, sense what I sensed. But Nick remained oblivious.
You're just a little jealous that Hallie's been spending so much time with Chessie boy.
He didn't understand. This wasn't jealousy, this was fear. Pure, primal fear. The imposter was growing stronger. I could feel it. Her hold on Hallie was tightening. The air in the house grew thick with a palpable tension. The scent of pine needles, once a reminder of happy camping trips, now hung heavy in the air, a suffocating reminder of the imposter's presence. I was running out of time. I had to do something. But what could I do? I was just a dog.
Then, one day, a glimmer of hope arrived. A car pulled up the driveway. It was a car I didn't recognize. A girl stepped out. She was about Hallie's age. My heart leaped. The scent that clung to her was familiar. Sunshine and laughter. Peanut butter treats. It was the real Hallie's scent. The imposter stiffened. Her eyes narrowed, her gaze locking onto the new arrival. The leather-bound book was clutched tightly in her hand. I watched as the two girls came face to face. The air crackled between them. One, a beacon of light, the other, a creature of darkness. The battle for Hallie's soul was about to begin. The new girl, Meredith, was everything the imposter wasn't. She was full of life, with a mischievous glint in her eyes. She laughed easily and treated everyone with kindness. Yet, a part of me remained wary. Could I trust my nose? Could this girl truly be the real Hallie? I watched her closely. The way she interacted with Nick. The way her eyes lit up at the sight of her favorite childhood photos. The way she instinctively knew how I liked to be scratched behind the ears. Each action, each word, chipped away at my doubt. But the fear remained, lurking in the shadows. The imposter, lurking in the background, watching Meredith's every move. Her eyes were filled with a venomous hatred, a promise of a confrontation to come. The tension in the house reached a fever pitch.
What is happening here? Why do I feel like I'm losing my mind?
Meredith, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows, tried to piece together the fragments of her stolen life. It was heartbreaking to watch.
Everything is falling into place.
The imposter, meanwhile, grew bolder. She moved with a newfound confidence. Like a puppet master, she began to weave a dark spell around the house. Objects moved mysteriously. Whispers followed Meredith everywhere she went. A cold, oppressive atmosphere settled over the house. It felt like the walls themselves were closing in. I knew the imposter was planning something terrible.
My worst fears were confirmed when Nick announced a camping trip. A trip to the same woods where the imposter had found Hallie. I knew what awaited them there. I had to find a way to protect them.
The woods were alive with unseen eyes. A blood moon hung heavy in the sky, casting eerie shadows that danced to the rhythm of an ancient evil chant. I could feel it in my bones. We had walked right into the imposter's trap.
Welcome to my domain.
The clearing was filled with strange symbols drawn in the dirt. Bones and feathers were scattered around a flickering bonfire. The imposter stood in the center, chanting in that guttural language. Her eyes glowed with a malevolent light. Nick and Meredith watched in horrified silence.
What is she doing?
This can't be real.
Suddenly, the imposter turned to Meredith, her eyes burning with hatred.
You cannot hide from me. You will be mine forever.
Just when all hope seemed lost, a surge of energy rippled through the clearing. The imposter staggered back, clutching her head and screaming.
No, you cannot defeat me.
But it was too late. Meredith's eyes, once filled with fear, now blazed with a newfound strength. The real Hallie was fighting back. The imposter was thrown back, her grip on Hallie's soul weakening. The symbols on the ground began to smolder and fade. The chanting died down. A terrified whimper escaped the imposter's lips. She had underestimated Hallie's spirit.
It was a battle of wills, of light against darkness, and in that moment I knew that good would triumph.
The imposter, defeated and weak, vanished into the night. The real Hallie, shaken but whole, was back in control. The woods, no longer menacing, seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The nightmare was over, or so we thought.
Thank you, Sammy. I couldn't have done it without you.
As we made our way back, Hallie's hand resting reassuringly on my head, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. There was a lingering unease in the air, a shadow that clung to the edge of my senses.
The imposter was gone. But the evil that had allowed her to take Hallie in the first place, that ancient darkness, still lingered. Waiting for its moment to return, I would be ready. I would always protect my family. But for now, we were safe. For now.